Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly grim and perilous master today, because today we're carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Cubicle 7's outstanding Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition, the Grimdark Fantasy RPG, although they are now branching out into more Warhammer Fantasy lines, so I think they must have something in their contract where they need to have at least 3 games for the same setting out at any given time. So we'll look forward to that. But with me today are the stars of our Salt, Silver, and Sin ongoing campaign set in the northernmost province of the Empire. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got Darren.
Hello there. Yeah, I'm playing Alwyn Carlson, who is a human, soon-to-be bounty hunter.
Wait, what?
He's got a change in mind coming up.
Textbook self-loather.
And as always, he's got his lovable family pet Astrid with him.
Very nice. Next up, joining us from sunnier climes is Graham.
Kalispera. It is Graham from sunny Stalis in Crete. Just as I'm in a hotel lobby, guys, so if I'm a bit echoey or I disappear occasionally, sorry. But I'm playing Ruthard Bellas Dingfelder, so from the Minoan Empire. He's now in a much dingier, dirtier empire, the old world. He like Alwyn, he's thinking about moving on from his Owler career. He's not quite there yet, but he's I think the experiences he's had with the Skaven and with his sort of newfound and indeed old friends has just changed his view about what he wants to do with himself.
Very nice. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Katerina Hoffman of Shalia. She is I guess she will now be a high priest of Shalia, which includes all those wonderful responsibilities for that status.
Nice.
I don't know if she can hang out with you guys anymore. Just kidding.
And last but certainly not least is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I'm playing Talthir of Manan. Like the other two, there's change in mind, but he's not changing careers. He's sticking to the Sailor Priest.
He's changing to the worship of Tzeentch. Is that...
Oh, no.
No? Oh, okay, sorry, I missed her.
He's heading towards more of a martial bent now.
I must be confusing that with the message I got from one of the other players in this game, so we'll just leave it, I suppose, at that. Then, for those... so Graham was not able to join us last time, but what do you guys recall having happened last time? Let me bring us over to... I guess we're back in Salzenmoon now, so we can go back to the city itself. God, that's a great illustration, eh?
Yeah, it's cool.
There's the Temple of Manan right there.
Yeah.
So we started off on the boat as we'd set off back towards Salzenmond. And that's where Katerina caught this thief. One of the crew was trying to steal the money from the rest of the group. And basically Katerina converted him to Shala, because basically let him off and taught him the error of his ways, or tried to convince him that it was a bad move. And he got away with literally murder, or his murder, I think, if Fognoff had been there. That put that to resolve that issue quite easily. So we got back to Salzenmond, and it was the 2 priests checking in with their relative leadership. So Katerina went and spoke to Mother Agatha. And Talfa went and spoke to, what's he called, the guy?
The Wave Lord?
Yeah, the Wave Lord, that's right.
It was very famous, by the way.
We also spoke to.
It glazes right over that.
Yeah, I'm not
Anyway.
interested in him. Yeah, not overly interested in him. He hasn't helped me out. We spoke to the High Priest of Moor, and basically unloaded that curse box. They agreed to take care of it, look into the people that had ordered it from those many miles away, and they were going to take control of that and hopefully look into that side of things. They were very grateful for our service.
So, are we clear? Are we clear of our responsibilities? Have we fulfilled what's expected of us? Is there anything left?
Well, delivering that, we've once they cleared our hands of it, that's gone.
It's good. It's good.
Yep.
So what was next on there? We're waiting for the Sigmarites. Weren't they gonna?
The Sigmarites?
Sigmarites, sorry. When we're waiting for Mother Agatha to speak to those, because they were wanting us to help them, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah, I think they want to.
They need to go to the Baron and see what response they wanted to have to it, because the Church of Sigmar has lost a pretty high-ranking priest. I mean, corrupt priest, but priest nonetheless.
Yeah. Because obviously we fed back all about the families on the journey to the was going to be the wedding, wasn't it? And the priest was killed. The families are still at loggerheads. The mutant sort of talk from the I think it was the younger son, wasn't it? Jacob.
Is it going to be leaning too heavily into current events if I make the new patriarch a fan of a team called the White Sox, or no? All right. Sorry, go ahead, Darren.
So I think Mother Agatha was gonna speak to them to see what they want to do about this potential mutant issue and the families. So I think we was waiting for them to give Katerina the next sort of mission, wasn't it?
Yeah. Carl was asking about other endeavors from Salzenmund as well, and while there aren't necessarily ones, there are ones from Altdorf that probably could be converted over. But I
like the research type stuff.
Yeah, there's research, train with unusual weapon, test magic item, penance, patronage. But I don't know if any of those are necessarily, if you guys necessarily want to pursue that. No one's a wizard. So we don't have, the college research wouldn't necessarily be, that is more specifically relating to like learning spells. Patronage you could pursue, I suppose, but I mean, I'm not sure you've got any patrons outside of the churches that you guys service. So I don't know if we, if any of those are necessarily appropriate or would be desirable for you guys. Anything else you're missing? Or were we forgotten?
I was going to say, I think short term, Mother Agatha asked Katerina to go back to where we just come from, wasn't it? To help with the cleanup because of all the damage that was done.
No, to organize the team that will be going there.
Right.
Oh, to organize the team.
Yeah, there's a mission that is going to be going there to try and assist with disaster relief.
Totally makes sense with the trappings you get at High Priest. You get a team.
What do you get? Underlings?
You get subordinate priests in a temple. Maybe she's going to eventually establish a temple in Odin Leet.
Yeah, I think for the
bring that shrine up. For the purpose of adventuring.
For the purpose of the adventure, I mean, I think we ignore that because we don't want your character to be too sedentary.
Right.
Or I mean, what am I talking about? This is an open-ended campaign, so who the fuck knows? It's not going to interfere with our 10-part adventure we're playing.
At least it kind of if Katarina's out adventuring, then that can still be going on. right? Maybe.
Well, Olden Lace does have a minor presence for it too. So,
Yeah.
like, if anywhere, you guys have got to know that city fairly well, and
Right.
does play into Alwyn's interest in the elves as well. So, potentially.
Yeah, well, how it's not that far, right?
Yeah.
She can go back and forth.
Do you want to propose that to Mother Agatha?
Yeah, it could be a part of the income endeavor that I might propose to do
Okay.
when people do their other endeavors.
Okay.
So the income is also, when you get to like level 3 and 4, apparently you have duties. So that's cool.
Okay.
All right, I've never advanced a character that far. So
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm just putting the link for Graham in the chat once again. Anything else that occurred last time?
There was discuss with the Wave Lord about the Sigmarites wanting mostly like a physical altercation and resolution to the situation. So Talther was kind of like
What situation?
the mutants and how to resolve it.
Yeah.
He doesn't think there's going to be a chance of peace, and Talther would agree to it. So it's altering a bit how Talther is approaching the situation and potentially setting up some conflict between Manon and Shalia intentions. And
Yeah. Talther was on board with burning the mutants, it seems.
yes, well, drowning would be preferable, but burning in case water's not nearby.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Anything else that we missed from last time? Nada?
I don't. Well, the Priest of Moore weirded
Oh,
me out.
Alwyn went to the fights too.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
some
right.
more interesting.
Yeah, fight night.
You had a lads' night. So then let's talk about what Rudy was doing with his downtime or with his time in the city. This isn't
So
his
I
first
think-
time to Salzamund, obviously, because you grew up here with Talther, but when was the last time you were back?
We don't talk about it, but he's making some money. It's his first endeavor,
Okay.
so I think he's what he's doing.
Are you
He's probably doing that. He's doing
is Graham breaking up for you guys as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
overdue.
Oh.
Internet issues.
Which is weird because I was I had no issues hearing him before. It could be the
Doing his job.
what do you call it? The Roll20 plus the stream at the same time. Let's see, Graham, can you hear us right now? I don't think so.
I might have to cut out video.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Let's see. Graham, can you hear us right now? Maybe he was typing. Oh, he's dropped out of the call.
There he is. I see him back.
Okay. Let's see if he's coming back. Yeah, good thought there, John.
She's a bummer. You won't be able to see our faces.
I mean, that's some would call that a blessing, but okay. Oh, it's not disruptive. I mean, it's just tech issues is part of the running theme of the channel. So
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a session without it.
yeah, without somebody's tech. Graham, can you hear us now?
I can. Can you
Yeah,
hear?
yeah. So, and listen, that's not disruptive at all. We were saying that is a running theme on the channel. It just gives us an
It is.
opportunity to toast Mo. So don't worry about it whatsoever.
Just know,
Yeah.
yay.
All right. So you were saying we've got you right now, and John's suggestion was to turn off the video in Roll20.
can do that.
To see if that assists with the stability of the
help.
connection.
It might.
Yeah.
It's a good thought.
Video uses a huge bandwidth, especially sending his and getting ours. So
Yeah.
It takes a lot of bandwidth to look this pretty. Is that what you're saying, John? I mean, my
it does.
goodness.
Lighting, dulcet zones with the microphone.
There you go. You all gone. It's better now.
Okay.
So yeah, Salzamund. So I think he's going to do his job. I think he's going to go back to what he was supposed to be doing, and he's probably reconnecting with his Owler contacts and undertaking a number of runs. So he feel like he's getting back to his day job, I'd say.
Okay. So, let's see here. This endeavor.
From the endeavor point of view, it would be income,
Yeah.
I think. Or maybe
Here.
not. I don't know.
You acquire the income you'll start your next adventure with, which is your standard income determined by your status. Okay.
Now, my status, actually, I don't have a wagon. And that's a disaster for my status, clearly. My status is, yeah. So I think it's 2 rather than
Can
the
you
3.
invest in a wagon now that you've arrived, though? Do you have enough money for a wagon?
Worth it.
If not, I think we've been sort of hand-waving and bringing the... you got an old wagon that you've had stored in a friend's place that's been, like, stored with... There's a bunch of other stuff that was stocked on top of it, so we would see this... gradual reveal as they're pulling back all the smuggled goods, and there's this shitty, barely holding together wagon that's stuck underneath all of their storage. So you have your whatever your current trappings are required. You've got that now.
Great. Okay. Well, in which case, I will do that.
Okay.
So I think that means I am brass 3 of all things. So
Okay.
ready heights.
So that'd be 6d10 brass pennies.
It will.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see how that goes. So go ahead and roll 6d10, please. I don't think you have to make a skill check for it. Do you?
No, I think it's just a.
You just roll.
Okay.
Yeah. But it says it's rolling the dice, and I've entered it some time ago.
That's okay.
Keeps
It's on vacation
Talking,
time. I
keep
mean,
talking.
listen, even the internet needs a break sometimes, so.
Right.
All right. Then you... So I think then everyone has completed one downtime activity, right?
there.
Yep.
Then let's start with some events. So let's start with Alwyn. You had very little spotlight time last session, so let's start with a percentile roll from you, please.
A 7.
Okay. Betrayed.
Ugh.
A friend, family member, or ally turns on you, the ramifications of which will impact your next adventure. If you have no friends, there you go, Rudy. 31 whatchamacallit? 31 brass pennies. Okay. If you have no friends or family or allies, your time between adventures is blissfully uneventful, though somewhat dull. I think we can come up with something that's caused you some problems. I think okay, yeah, no problem, Graham. Have a great rest of your vacation.
Yeah,
Enjoy the last day in the sun.
Watch out for minotaurs.
All right. Okay, I'm just going to move Rudy down here for now. And we'll just realign everybody. Okay. So, Alan, I think what's going to happen is... that leaves a wide open area to say you don't do what Rudy wouldn't do.
So repent of all your actions and turn to a life of good.
So, Alwyn, what Tell us about because I think you said your next endeavor is to turn to bounty hunting, right?
Yeah. He's as he said before. What drives him is making a name for himself, becoming a bit of a celebrity that he can one day return home with people hopefully hearing of him before he even returns home. You know, that's the stories traveling the lands.
Does Alwyn travel under his own name? Or is Alwyn Carlson a pseudonym from his actual name?
No, I think that's his real name, because no one would have known him from the past. Where he come from is fairly sort of small and sort of insignificant. You would think in the big world now he's been out of in these vast cities and things. So yeah, that is his real name, and he's using that because hopefully one day, like I say, it will get back to people that he left behind, his family and friends. That he's becoming a name people will speak about in great stories.
Yeah. So you are you're staying at one of the
I was at the Trout and Anchor.
Yeah. So let's say that this is maybe 3 or 4 days after your trip to the pits and your delivery of the thing to the delivery of the box to the Priest of Moor. You're returning back, and you get into, you're approaching to get into the what was it, the Trout and Tankard?
I got it down as a Trout and Anchor.
Trout and Anchor, that makes more sense. Yeah,
I think so.
Tusk and Tankard is a tavern from Paradar.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I've got in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, your character's absence, Carl, has become a point of plot in Paradar now.
I missed that game. I'm sorry. I just can't.
No, it's a full plate. So, and it just gives us an opportunity. If you do get a chance to be available, we can make a nice little highlight session about it. So,
okay.
But Alwyn, what don't you give us a perception check, please? Or not perception. I think it's it's not insight. What is it called? Empathy? No, that's dark eye. Intuition.
Intuition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going through my Rolodex of games.
This is an average or challenging?
This is going to be average.
Okay. Oh.
It's very close. You want to fate that or fortune that?
Yeah, let's have another go.
Okay.
It's got a good potential to get worse, but no, it doesn't seem he wants to.
Okay. So you are coming back from, doing whatever. What was your first downtime activity? Banking?
Training Astrid.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So I've been out and about.
Yeah. So perhaps you've, come back from one of the, it's not really a lot of open areas, but maybe you're outside of the city, and you come to your back in. Near end of day, you're coming in, and you can see one of the regular barfly fixtures here is sitting outside of the Trout and Anchor and kind of eyeballs you as you're going in, and you don't really kind of make much of it. And you go in, and what do you think your relationship is with the patron here, the barkeep or the publican?
Yeah, he's not the most trusting guy because of his background, so it'd be sort of fairly professional almost. He does his job and I pay for service, and he won't be rude, but he won't be super chatty and friendly with him. But yeah, pass. Hello.
Okay. Would you give us a percentile roll, please?
Yep. 42.
Okay, I need to mysteriously look something up here. Hold on. And oh, here we go. Okay. So you are you make your way in, and the patrons here are pretty much what you normally see. So you're perhaps heading towards where your room is, and it's Astrid that growls just a little bit, enough for you to sort of look back. And as you're making your way up the stairs, you realize that there are two individuals who are in here who seem to be communicating with one another. In kind of you look back and you happen to catch it where the two of them are looking at each other and kind of nod to one another, and as if indicating that something might occur.
And they're looking in my direction.
They do both look back at you, and you can tell they are wearing leather jerkins, so they have armor on. Both of them have a weapon at their belt, and you can see that one of them has a crossbow that they grab, and they are getting up. But the thing that particularly worries you with them getting up is you can hear the rattle of manacles for both of them as they are getting up. Alwyn, what do you do?
So did you say I was on the stairs to head up?
You're kind of making your way towards the stairs, yeah, and they're getting up, so it seems as if they are trying to wait until you get into your room, and then you will have very little place to go.
And from my last night at the place, do I know if there's like windows upstairs that I could potentially get out of, or another exit route, or is it if I go upstairs I'm sort of trapped?
I think the room upstairs probably does not have it would have to have a let's say there is a 50% chance there's a window in your room. So why don't you give us a percentile roll? Let's leave it to that.
Okay.
You are quite thrifty, so you did get a room that there's no chance of any Skaven climbing in through a window. Unfortunately, it also means there's no chance of you getting out through a window.
Yep. And I'm also thinking about Astrid, that that's not going to be very easy to scale out of a window. I don't want to throw Astrid out of a window from an upper floor. So I think I will sort of turn round from the stairs and try and sort of speed up my walk towards like the main entrance of the place. So try and sort of not
like you're turning around and heading back, because they seem to be like they've waited till you got deeper in. They're getting up and they're making their way towards you. There is a back entrance, I imagine, to this place, but
I'm just gonna try and negotiate through the tables and try and get round them to the front door.
Sure. If you do so, the two of them converge and sort of make their way in. Astrid starts growling as they're getting in closer, and one of them, the more senior of the two who is carrying the crossbow, puts his hand up and kind of looks at you with a stern look. He's clean shaven, but he's got that he's got that stubble that he's bald on top, but you can tell from the way that it's already grown back. It's shaved. And he's got that kind of 5 o'clock shadow. He's one of those guys who he'll shave at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. and he's got a quarter beard back by 10. So he's got this look, and he puts his hand up. He's a little bit taller than you, and he says, "Alwyn Carlson."
I sort of look round and yes, what of it?
He looks at his colleague, who moves aside, and he says, We don't want no trouble with that dog. Don't make us have to take steps to hurt it.
Well, you have no need to. If you gentlemen can explain yourselves, I'm sure this is some sort of misunderstanding. We can get on with our day.
You are Alwyn Carlson.
As I said, yes.
You are a criminal.
Oh,
Says who?
We have the testimony of and he looks over at his colleague, Manfred. Manfred, he's confirmed your identity. You are a road agent. So it turns out Manfred may have lost a little more money at the fights than expected.
Yeah. And what am I proposed to have done? This man is obviously lying to you.
You can take it up with the magistrate. Hands out. Let's not make this difficult. Then the younger one says, though you can. The older one kind of gives him a look of like, shut the fuck up.
I'll come with you, but there's no need for that. There's no need for these chains.
Why don't you give us a charm check at average?
Okay. Oof, I'm going to re-roll that as well.
Okay.
He's off to a good start.
We had in the span of the 4-hour session yesterday, we had 3 weapon jams for anything else. So, okay, so he looks at you and says, "All right, no trouble."
It'll keep the dog quiet.
He looks down. What's the dog's name?
Astrid.
Astrid? You could be a good dog, yeah? Her ears kind of go back against her head. Kind of looks up at you.
And I'll sort of gesture for Astrid to follow me, and I'll start walking towards the door.
Okay. So as you're making your way along, I do need a name for this fella. As you leave the place, his name... Powell Schubert. And his lackey will be Rolf. So as you're leaving, Rolf keeps trying to like interpose between you and Astrid keeps just like moving in and sort of jostling him to the side. And he's like, "Hey, cut that out, you dog!" And Pavel kind of gives him a look of like, "Just walk on the other side." And Pavel will turn to you as you're kind of walking along, and he says, "You don't know if we're taking you to the hangman or not, or the headsman. You seem remarkably calm about this, more so than we see of our kind."
Well, as you will find out, this man is lying. I don't know what he's told you, but I'm sure if it was a serious offence, they would have sent someone a little bit more senior than yourself, probably.
He looks, gives you a firm look. He says, "I don't need no one more senior to me to find ne'er-do-wells like you, son."
Well, I'm sure there's many people that can vouch for me.
Oh, like your friend Manfred?
He is an associate from the past, not a friend.
He says you're responsible for robbing nobles on the road. And Rolf says, "That'll get you a short walk with a sharp end."
This is, like as I said, this is all lies. I'm sure he was trying to weasel his way out of something that he'd got himself mischief into, and he's using me as an excuse to take the heat off of himself.
Pavel says, I don't doubt there's some truth in that. You're not from here, are you?
No, I've travelled far to these lands.
And what do you do now, then? If not robbing nobles on the road?
I've been assisting a couple of the priests of this place. They need protection when travelling on the roads.
Rolf says, "What, Ranald?"
Don't know who.
The god of trickery and thieves.
No, a priest of Shalia.
Pavel kind of looks at you. What are you doing with a priest of Shalia?
As I said, I'm accompanying and trying to offer some protection and help in their missions.
Who's there? More priests of Shalia?
I travel with another priest. He is a priest of Manan. Yeah.
The Rolf kind of starts laughing. Oh, you're traveling with all the gods, then? I didn't know it was an entire pantheon we got with us, eh? Hey, Pavel? Pavel gives a look of just, like... He says, these priests, you think they would speak for you?
I know they would.
You can see he's thinking things over. Rolf keeps kind of gibbering away, and I think that Astrid keeps kind of moving onto the side to put more distance between Rolf and you. But where he brings you is to, I don't think it's the jail necessarily. He's going to bring you to somewhere that seems to be his, I guess it would be a jail. Jeez. Let me take a look at the Salzenman map. All right. Ooh, the courthouse. That probably is where. So that is 3. Let's go to the map, maybe. Go. Courthouse is right here.
Okay.
Okay. And oopsies, wrong thing. Right to you. We said you were staying where, like over here somewhere?
I think it was up here somewhere.
Oh, okay.
The Trout and Anchor. I've got a feeling it was in the top north.
Okay. So yeah,
somewhere.
so it's just really not that far to reach the courthouse. Let's see if there is.
The temples are a long way away, aren't they?
Yeah.
Down the bottom somewhere.
Okay, Zenitor. Great Hall. Courthouse, here we go. An imposing building with an interior courtyard. It reveals much about legal practice in Salzenmund. The main chamber hosts trials by the law speaker. The interior courtyard is marked out for trial by combat with a sunken square large enough for orderly battles between plaintiff and the accused or their judicial champions. So I think he's going to bring you to these places. And what Pavel says as he's going in, there's a bounty on your head.
And who would put such a bounty on my head?
It would be said nobles. What you robbed. And he gives you a look of like, allegedly.
I was going to say, I'd be shaking my head.
Who are these priests? What would speak for you?
And I've just realised that the Shalia one sort of almost directly is at number 7 there. So I'd sort of point over. I say, the temple of Shalia is just over there. Mother Agatha or Katerina, priestess.
Okay. He stops near the courtyard and says, Rolf, go in and tell the bailiff. And Rolf kind of like, yeah, and he runs in. So Pavel will turn to you and says, no fucking about. This priest will speak for you.
Yes, I'm confident.
I do this for you. It's a favor.
I understand.
Your other option, I get paid one way or the other. The other option, you take your chances with the judicial champion.
Well, as I said, priests or the priestess will confirm my innocence and my character, so I don't see the need to come up against some combat.
Now, he looks down. You can't take that dog in there. But she's a good girl?
If she thinks I'm safe, yes.
He looks down, and he kneels down to get to the same height as Astrid, and her ears kind of go back. And he says, you're going to come with me, girl. He looks up at you. Save?
Okay. And I sort of get down and give Astrid a sort of bit of fuss and say, you follow this gentleman. I won't be long. And I sort of just, like I say, give Astrid some fuss and...
Okay. She is still kind of looking back and forth between you, and then he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out what looks to be some kind of like jerky of some kind, tears off a bit and holds it out. And she kind of looks up at it and looks back at you. Ears are up now.
And I sort of gesture, so go on.
Okay, she makes her way over. He looks up. He says, I take it that your priest will recognize her too.
Yes, definitely.
He says, well, we're going to go talk to your friend then, aren't we? And he kind of scritches around her ears, and then kind of takes a little bit of loose hold of her at the nape, because you can see that Rolf is coming out with two guards now. And
Okay.
Rolf is happily kind of jangling along some manacles. Astrid kind of looks up at you and then begins immediately struggling, and you can see that Pavel has kind of anticipated this and is kind of holding the dog back. And he says to you, you tell her it'll be fine. You tell her.
Yep.
Give us an animal, what is it, animal? Not animal.
I've got animal training. Dog
Isn't there a
training.
handling one too? Or charm animal is what we're thinking of.
There's animal care, but there's animal training, and I've got
Is
a
there charm animal
specialisation
too?
in dog. Oh, there is. Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Give us a charm animal check, please. This will be at easy.
Yeah, I'm not so good at that. Let's have a go. But easy makes it more achievable. There you go.
Incredible. What do you do? It's the
So my
best
new
she's ever.
training is obviously starting to come off. I said, I'll say, Astrid, go with the gentleman. I won't be long. And I'll sort of give her the gesture to follow someone else.
Yeah, she stops tugging on him, and then she just sort of sits down. She keeps looking at you, but she does sit
and
down.
I walk inside to sort of, encourage her that I'm sort of going out of sight and to go with him.
Let's see. Yeah, I know that flights in Europe definitely take longer or shorter times than they do in North America, but this does seem extreme for Graham to be back in England already. Let's see here. Graham, I was saying, I know that you know, that saying that 100 years is a long time in North America and 100 miles is a long distance in Europe, but that does seem like an extreme flight if you're home already.
Let's see if I last. I've relocated somewhere else, so we'll just see if it works.
Oh, great. Okay. In your absence, Alwyn has been arrested.
Okay.
That's a change career to get away from the criminal sort of nature. I've been arrested, yeah.
So what, I think what happens, Alwyn, they'll manacle you, they will bring you into the courthouse, and then you can hear Astrid cry as the last, thing you hear from her before they go in. Katarina, I think we're going to cut to you now. And you are busy at work with the mission. Like, you've got everything ready. It's really a matter of getting everything down to the barges and then get everyone off in the direction of Oldenleitz. So, and I think it's been such a bit of a whirlwind of activity. Hold on, this is a couple days later, so it's off right now, and you're preparing maybe the pitch to make a proper, priesthood there. You have a one of the junior priest, like junior acolytes, knock on your door, and it's not someone who works on your project right now, so it's someone else who works at the front, and she says, sister, there's a man with a dog at the entrance to the mission who has asked to speak to you.
Alwyn?
No, I think he's a bounty hunter.
What does a dog look like?
And she describes Astrid to the T.
Oh. All right, well, I'll get up, finish my sentence, and then get up and
Okay.
see what's going on.
You make your way through the temple. The new robes befit your new station, definitely fit better, and you're falling into the role of administrator quite well. When you come out, you see the man I described. So, shaved head, rough-looking fella. He's got a crossbow, with a goat's foot on the side. The crossbow is not loaded right now. And he seems to be, petting Astrid. And Astrid seems to be responding fairly well. And when Astrid sees you, however, the tail starts going, and she kind of barks to let you know. He looks over at you, and I'm not sure if he's got a hat on. I kind of picture like a little, leather, kind of cap, kind of like an aviator cap, but the medieval equivalent of. He takes it off and kind of bows. The lady?
I was expecting Alwyn. Does Alwyn have a gnomon? I don't know if he has a last name.
Carlson.
I was expecting Alwyn Carlson. This is his dog, Astrid, our boon companion.
You can see there's sort of a look of recognition that goes over this fella's face, and he says, "Forgive me, my lady. I am Pavel Schubert, and I make my living capturing ne'er-do-wells and ensuring they don't cause good people any troubles. I had information of that Alwyn Carlson that there was a bounty for a deed which we have now placed at the feet of his past indiscretions. He indicated that he is in your service now, and in service to a priest of Manon. I take it that...
Yes.
Is that accurate, my lady?
Yes, it is accurate. We are adventuring companions, old friends. He has helped with many things. Perhaps you've heard of the troubles in Odenleitz.
He was involved with that.
Yes. He saved my life many a time. And Astrid,
Astrid comes in and kind of rubs up against you. I see. Well, my lady...
He is well known here at the temple. Do I need to call on Mother Agatha for this?
My lady, if what I understand is this is not my concern typically, but there was something about the boy that seemed penny in the rough, eh? And there is evidence against him, and he's free to try and prove his innocence, but it's unlikely that we would see an happy outcome from that process. If you spoke on his behalf, my lady, your words would likely carry greater weight than the accuser.
Oh, definitely. Let me know when.
He's in custody now, my lady, and with these types of things, the courts don't take time. I could take you there now, if you like.
Okay.
Please.
You mentioned another priest.
He said that
As
there
well.
was another...
That would be Talther of Manon. We can maybe get him on the way.
If you feel it would assist, he's been in service to 2 priesthoods.
It's a joint effort, as always when we're fighting against the ruinous powers.
I don't know nothing about that, but if you think it would assist, I think I must confess, my lady, what he's been accused of, it seems he's had a completely different life here than what it seems as may have been the case before. Your order, Holy Sharia, its mercy and redemption is your creed, eh?
Yes.
You think this Carlson deserves, or is taking steps towards that?
Most definitely. Everyone deserves a second chance. Sometimes more than that.
You think we can find this priest of Manan?
I think so.
So, if you guys do leave with them, I think we'll kind of... he makes some idle chit-chat, as he's going. He asks you a couple more questions about Alwyn. And then, Talther, you experienced sort of the same process that Katarina did, where someone calls you, brings you down, and you find there is this bounty hunter, Pavel, who is with Astrid and Katarina.
My first thought is, what did Rudy do? But I don't say that out loud.
So he'll explain this sort of the same situation that I'd explained to Katarina.
Talther's not as nice as Katarina is. He kind of gets a cross look across his face and says, "Somebody's lied about my friend Alwyn. This will not stand. Take me to him."
Well, have you evidence to refute?
Is the word of a priest not enough?
Priest or 2.
He kind of defers because of the station. Let's see. It is... No one has law, do they?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I do, but,
I've got
No, I do not.
No?
local customs.
Reichland, Theology, Empire, Heraldry.
Reichland Custom you could try. I think we'll set the difficulty at... let's set the difficulty at challenging, or not challenging. What is it? Yeah, challenging. It is challenging.
Okay, I need to find it.
Nope.
Okay.
How critical is it? This roll?
I mean, not exceptionally necessarily. You
gotta save the fates.
no one's going into the
talking to people.
barrister profession, I guess. So
Yeah. There's a advocate. It's not advocate. There is a lawyer profession.
yeah, there's a lawyer profession, and it's not bounty hunters. When they get to the bounty hunter general, they get to the lower law. My question is whether you may not appreciate that what he's asking or what the potential issue is here. So then what Pavel will ask you, Talther, is if you'll speak in his favor.
Yes, I owe him my life many times over.
He nods. Remind me again, what are your
down and ruffles Astrid's head and this dog too.
What are your respective statuses right now, Katerina and Talther?
See, double check.
Oh
I
my!
think it's silver 1 for me.
Gold 1.
Okay, that'll definitely sway. So you guys appear at the courthouse, and the bailiff who's in attendance, I think there is likely a barrister of some capacity who is supervising things. I'd like master of the courts or the lord of court. I can't remember what the term would be for the setting, but
Magistrate, maybe magistrate.
Magistrate would be the judge more so.
Right.
But
okay.
I'm thinking of the person who would be effectively serving the role of the prosecutor, who would be making the determination as to whether to bring it before the court or not, right? So
probably like what British and Germans use, right?
Yeah, which it makes me like, I don't know what the term would be. But my effort to turn this into a legal drama is now just fallen flat. So there is, although Age of Vikings, it has shipped now.
Salzman law.
And the adventure in Age of Vikings includes a lawsuit. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, can't wait. Looks awesome.
Yeah, but sometimes these like Dark Ages, or I remember there's definitely like legal stuff, even if it's like blood price stuff here and there. I've seen in Saxon type stuff.
Well, and the thing cool. I think it is a gameable. It's a more gameable thing because without having to get into like procedural law or things that really kind of matter, admissibility of evidence and shit like that. It's a much easier thing to do, but still capture some of the fun of the courtroom drama. But in this case, what once this person is brought before you, Katerina, and let me take a look at actually the professions for just one of the academics, I believe. Lawyer, here we go. Yeah, I think this guy's probably, so he's inferior to you. The Silver 3, he answers he responds, and what Pavel explains is that Katerina wants, or Lady Katerina and Brother Talther are priests who wish to speak in support of the prisoner, Carlson. And the lawyer kind of looks at him. Lawyer's probably the one who paid him the bounty as well, which means he's already paid out for a prisoner. You don't show up with priests looking to speak in favor of someone. So he's been paid for this already, and then is going to try and get the guy free. So it's a bit of the having your cake and eating it too. He nods, and then he takes the Astrid away, leaving Katerina and Talther to speak to this lawyer. And he looks up and says, "So, what have you to say about this Alwyn Carlson?" "We have a bounty for him, my lady." "How do you know this rogue?"
Well, he is no rogue. He is a man who has done great service to Salzaman, the Empire, the Temple of Shalia,
and the Temple of Manon. It's a local hero. Well,
I do not wish to question your assessment, my lady, and I certainly would weigh heavily your assessment of his character. But if I might ask, do you know anything of his past?
Other than that, he was an orphan, and he's always been really serving the temple, whether as a custodian or helping in the kitchens, etc. So he has always been under the eyes of Shalia.
I see.
As far as I know.
yeah, I know.
I know he came from the streets, was an orphan, but
I think he's a Middenheimer. Perhaps an Ulrican, even. Does that not trouble you?
No. Not at all. The Pantheons work together to defeat the ruinous powers.
Forgive me, theology is not my speciality.
Talther will say, I know less of his past than Katerina, but I defer to her. I just know the last several weeks he's been traveling with us closely. We just arrived recently by boat back to town.
And should I take my graces that you would speak to his character should this matter be brought before the magistrate?
Indeed.
And
yes.
should he request trial by combat, I expect you would nominate someone in support of his defense.
If no one stood up for him, I would do so myself. It would not be the first time I've shed blood with him.
I see. He looks, kind of stares. Pavel and Astrid have taken a step a little further off, but he gives just a withering look in Pavel's direction. It seems then that this is... I cannot in good conscience maintain his incarceration and put him before the magistrate knowing what would be before it. If you cannot speak to having been present in his past, it does not exonerate him in my mind, but I feel there is little doubt as to what the outcome of a trial would be. Allow me to arrange for the bailiffs to correct him. Thank you, Lady Katerina and Brother Talther, for your insight into this. He once again gives another withering look over in Pavel's direction. I shall ensure that your assistant is returned to you promptly, unharmed. Good day. The blessings of your gods. And he kind of waves like, And
as we head out, Talther followed his gaze to Pavel, and he'll as he heads out, he'll put a hand on his shoulder and kind of lean in and say thank you before they walk out.
He shrugs. I judge there was more to the boy than what that fella had said about him. I trust my gut in those things. And Alwyn, it's been an eventful morning for you, and you come out to see Katerina, Talther, and Astrid, along with Pavel, waiting.
And I sort of look round, sort of not surprised to see him, but happy to see him.
Astrid kind of breaks. With a crit success, she's going to not come until you call her. But she is doing that kind of
nice.
Looking up at Pavel, looking at you, looking up at Pavel, looking at you.
I know. I think as soon as I sort of exit the door, I'll sort of get down on my knees and sort of
Yeah, she
gesture.
bowls you over.
And I just turn to the other two and say, I knew my friends wouldn't let me down. And I thank you for giving me a chance. And I look to this Pavel guy. How much was the bounty? May I ask?
He grins. Not enough for this trouble. But he looks at the two priests. They speak well of you. I don't know what you've done before, but it seems you put your hands to good now.
And can I compensate you in some way? Because I know this would have turned ugly quickly in there.
Well, what have you got in mind? Forgive me for saying, you don't look like you've got much to offer.
Well, we have been doing work for some quite influential people, and they have given us some coin recently.
You've been doing work with them, then? He gestures to the priests.
Yes, as I said.
Without asking for admissions, I take it whatever your activities were before, you're now looking to put them behind you.
As it happens, I was looking for a career not too dissimilar to yourself.
Indeed. I can tell you, I have an apprentice at present. And if I was to take on a new apprentice, the first deed of that one would be to inform my previous apprentice that he has nothing further to learn from me. He got his little twinkle in his eye.
And yeah, I think I'd have a big grin at that point and say, nothing would give me more pleasure.
Oh, I had a feeling. Do remind Rolf. Let me take a look here. The manacles is mine. Do collect him from him.
It'd be an honor.
Okay. I think at that point, Rolf is sort of coming out, talking to the guards, so you can feel free to do so. So, while eventful, you have managed to extricate yourself from that complication, and you have your trainer for your new career. Okay.
Excellent.
Then, let's do this. So next up, let's do Rudy, because Rudy wasn't in the last session either. Why don't you give us a percentile roll? We'll see what your event is, and we'll take our mid-session break, come back, and see what happens then. So Rudy, if you would give us a... Oh, there we go. Perfect. 75.
There we go.
Pestilential pet.
Yeah, beg your pardon.
One of your animals falls ill. If you have no animals, you are troubled by ill omens of the GM's creation. Ooh.
It's rats. It's rats. It's always rats.
Now, I'm sure you do not have. If you do not have your camera on or our cameras on, Graham, I hope you're missing the gleeful hand wringing that I am doing right now.
I can imagine that.
So why don't we take our mid-session break right now, guys? Refresh our beverages, take a break, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes, and then we'll see what happens to Rudy. Okay. All right. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. Okay.
I love these random event tables.
Yeah, they're really fun. I think that it makes for a GM, who likes the kind of unexpected and has, is fortunate to have players who roll with these kind of random events as well as you guys do. It's fucking golden. Okay. I think it's funny because I was thinking. So earlier this week, I downloaded at James's influence Space Marine 2, and I started playing it, and it's a beautiful game, and it's really fucking cool. But I kind of realized I got partway through, and I'm like, I kind of want to just play Dead by Daylight. And the reason I think is I don't need to follow I don't want to follow a prearranged, kind of story. I don't want to just have to respond to the fucking things that are happening. I want the story to be emergent, and that's what you get from these PvP games. That's why I ended up playing Dead by Daylight and Overwatch and Marvel Rivals and stuff. It's stuff that you just see from interacting with other people, and I think that's just, for video games at least, that's where I get my fix for that. But I think it might also translate to one of the reasons I don't enjoy running long-term campaigns that are preset either is because I don't want that from my play experience. I want this kind of shit where it's stuff that happens that informs and shapes the play. That to me is more interesting. Mm-hmm. But it also means I'm incapable of finishing those longer video games too. So, okay. Then, Rudy. So, one of the things that, because of the way by which you came to stay to the campaign, you may not be aware of this, but let me find the book first. Here it is. Cleverly hidden right in front of me. One of the features of life in Salzenmund are things called red dreams. No one really knows necessarily why any one individual gets them, but it is something that has bedeviled the people of Salzenmund for years and years and years. What the red dreams are when they come is of incredibly violent nature, typically uncharacteristic of what people normally experience. We'll see what Graham is writing. You can hear me, Graham, right? Oh, you're muted right now. So we got a Toast Mo. Hello.
Marvelous.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Hear me now.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So the
Excellent.
What the red dreams are is something that is uncharacteristic of you. It's not like you have them all the time, but it is something that is specific to Salzenmund. And I think, however long you have been away, it feels like that might have been part of the reason is that you happen to, because on rare occasions, the red dreams can manifest in just unthinkable violence, almost like the spirit of the Northmen, the Norskins personified. They're furious gods. And I think this is now, you're a week or so back and you haven't had that problem yet, So if it was something that lurked in the back of your mind, but I think what you awaken to on one of these mornings is just, not just that you wake up and your heart's beating or whatnot, like you wake up and your body feels like it did at the end of that marathon fight against the Skaven. Everything aches. Everything has it just it's just heavy and tight from exertion. And nothing's destroyed in your room or anything like that, but the feeling of waking from that red dream well enough. This is more than what you had experienced before. Do you think Rudy remembers much of what he actually dreamed about? Okay. So fleeting, is it stuff he did before? Is it stuff he's thought of doing before? Or
a good chance that he remembers just slivers of it. It involves wolves. And something about a transfer that he did some time ago. He was transferring with, didn't escape. And the violence of that and the loss of that, he's kept very tight and hasn't spoken of it.
okay.
But this dream has brought it all back.
Okay. So sorry, you did cut up a little bit there, Graham, but am I right in thinking there was like some exchange, some owler, nonsense in the middle of nowhere that went really ugly? Is that what you were alluding to? Okay, awesome. Okay. So yeah, you're like, your hands are trembling, your body is exhausted, you feel feverish. How does Rudy feel then? Having both the memory of that come back to him as well as the return of the dreams.
He feels a failure. And he feels he seems to have a curse that he let. I don't know if you got that.
Oh, so you had a curse that let.
People down.
Oh, he let people down. Okay, yeah. So I guess that the Rudy that we see at breakfast is a little more deflated than usual, or would he try and hide that with like overcompensating with his usual, exuberance?
I think he's lost some of that.
Okay. So I think, Talter, perhaps that you would be the one who would recognize that. Like you've had now time, although you guys had spent quite a bit of time apart, you now have faced some like life and death circumstances with Rudy. You've had that trip back, and then you've had a month or so in here, and I imagine you guys are touching base every, now and then. Something has happened to him.
Jeez. Well, I offer, as much support as I can, because I remember early on when I started adventuring and getting into these life and death situations where I was just rehashing everything I've ever done wrong in my life. So until tomorrow comes, well, you got friends around you.
Yeah, but for how long?
As long as the gods are willing, and our sword arm is strong.
How long before? I'm trying to strengthen it. They all die. They all die.
We all die. It's just a matter of time.
The priest of Moore is like, did I hear my name called?
I ain't drowning yet, man.
I ain't going yet. That's just.
Yeah. I don't want to go in the cart.
Talther asked Rudy if you had your doom told by a priest of Moore, yes?
Yeah.
Well, apparently I'm supposed to meet my end drowning, but and yet I still brave the waters.
It's the most polite way of saying don't be a pussy.
The hills.
Well, when it boils down to it, you go on or you give up, and no, we can't let you give up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But think of all the gold. We're making quite a lot.
Yeah, we are. I have to admit, I think we saved a lot of lives, didn't we? You know, we saved many lives.
At least prevent a lot of suffering that otherwise would have occurred.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Okay. How's the breakfast?
Better than what you get at the temple.
I mean, really, you
I'll
can't
take
beat a
that.
pub breakfast, right? Clearly, I was rewatching our last session too, and it's around this time is when I started going on about doner kebabs. So clearly, I need to eat something before these sessions, because right when we get back from this, I immediately start thinking of food. Good Lord. Okay, then that will be Rudy's event. Katerina, you are up next. Would you give us a percentile roll, please? 65. New moon. The nights are particularly dark. All rogue characters undertaking the income endeavor receive plus 20% bonus to their monies earned. So, Rudy, that, what'd you roll? 74 brass pennies? Or 78 or something like that? What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get another 20%. I think,
Wow.
Yeah, Alwyn is the only other... sorry, Alwyn, you're the only other rogue. Did you do an earn income?
The change career is a
Got it.
downtime activity.
That's
Yeah.
good. Then that's, nothing else. All right. You're helping your allies out there, Katerina. Well done.
All right. Nice.
And then finally, Talther, would you give us a percentile roll, please?
A 10.
Betrayed!
Oh, no.
A friend, family member, or ally turns on you, the ramifications of which will impact your next adventure. If you
Here
have
comes
no
my black sheep status in the church. The
friends,
we had.
yeah, exactly. Everything is revolving around the Catholic Church. Now it's going to be I'm turning the campaign into a recreation of Conclave. So, if you have no friends, family, or allies... Okay. So I think why don't you give us? Let's see here. Give us an intuition check, please, Talther, and let's set it at average. You want to fortune that?
Yeah, might as well. But playing with fate has usually left me worse for the wear, so...
Oh, look at that.
Okay. So you're unfortunately oblivious to the machinations and the strategies that are being employed against you for now. What I will say, Talther is unfortunately unaware of this, but it does appear that word has gotten back that you have spoken up in favor of a accused road agent, and you are friends with a suspected, if not known, smuggler.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, is not untrue.
So what is that? Seems to be that your sudden ascent and your connections has raised some concerns with other members of the priest, not necessarily with the Wave Lord, but that is something that is going to impact your upcoming adventure then. That brings us to the end of the events then, at least for this. So we have a second round of downtime activities, I believe.
Yeah.
So what is, Alwyn, you are going into a new career in yours?
Yep, that was my second one. Yeah.
Okay, so you're training with Pavel, or apprenticing with Pavel, I guess.
hmm
Okay. I think I mentioned this before. Fucking day job thing, because doesn't show up on a transcript. I'm like, I have to stop myself from telling you, I'm sorry, it won't show up in a transcript. If you mean yes, you need to say yes. If you mean no, you need to say no. So,
Yes.
you do not need to do that for anything. Oh my goodness. It's just, it's one of those things that you just, it becomes not muscle memory, but whatever the mental equivalent is. Okay, and I'm just making sure I'm writing down Rolf is now your nemesis. Okay.
I ain't scared of no Rolf.
Okay. Rudy, what is your second downtime activity? I think you put it in chat here. Let's see.
Banking.
Banking, excellent. Is there
Banking.
any roll for banking?
He choose investing or stashing.
Oh yeah.
But he's got to have certain rank.
I've got a stash. Yeah, I have to stash.
Okay.
So he doesn't need to roll anything until he tries to pull from it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so you stashed some cash. Katarina, what is your second endeavor?
Income. It's going to be income.
Nice. Okay, and you're gold, right?
Yeah, gold 1 now.
So page 52 is the earnings. If you're gold 1, then you earn 1 gold crown.
Okay.
Nice.
That's easy.
And Talther?
I am going to be using the training option.
Nice.
Page 199. I'm taking my turn with the Wave Lord to be fighting is coming, so he wants to try to boost his weapon skill.
Okay. So let's see here. What is the XP cost to buy the advance?
Is it a single advance, or is it as many as I can purchase?
Let's
Because
see.
I was hoping to get 4 out of it, and I have just enough experience to do it.
Let's see your train for.
I didn't see a limitation on how many.
Let's see. It says by the advance, which makes me think it's singular. Because the way that the game otherwise uses the word advance is for each individual 1% that you get.
Okay.
So I think it's 1.
Okay.
Let me read the last. Hold on. Let's read the last sentence. No, it doesn't change it. We did find that the Fantasy Flight Death Watch has the important rules at the start of a paragraph. So then what is the XP for 1 advance?
40.
40?
Yeah, 40.
Okay, so give us a 1d10 plus 40, and that is how much it costs you in addition to. There you go. So 41 brass pennies.
The only reason I do it is because I can buy it as though it was in class. Instead of
Oh, it's not
class.
an advanced skill, right? This is a basic
No.
skill?
It's
Okay.
basic.
Yep, so then, you can raise it by 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and you've got. Sorry, what skill is it you're raising?
Weapon skill for polearms.
Yeah, you'll be able to find tutors for that.
And I figured I'd be able to do it in the church.
Give us a
Oh no, it's just
weapon skill check, please. At average, please.
Current or
Average. Yeah, you're current. I mean, it's 1 more, so not a.
Do I want to do it in polearms or just basic weapon skill?
Whatever skill you're raising, or are you raising your characteristic weapon skill?
Characteristic is what I'm raising.
Okay, go ahead and give us your weapon skill, the characteristic roll, please.
Is that
Okay.
bad?
You satisfied with that?
Well, I don't know why I'm rolling it.
So that's yes? I want you to commit one way or the other before.
Sure, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Leave it as lies.
There's no consequence from it anyway. I was wanting to see if you had rolled a critical fail, I could play that back in with the bullshit where someone really tries to.
Oh.
Yeah, but you
makes
didn't,
sense.
so it's fine. We'll save that. I'm going to put that back on the back burner and wait for that to manifest a little later. Okay, so then you managed to improve your weapon training a little bit. That brings us to the end of the downtime activities. Is there anything else you guys wish to do before you hear the outcome of the mission? I think one thing to consider is while Katarina and Talther are waiting for instructions from their respective superiors, what do Alwyn and Rudy want to do? Rudy's pursuing Alwyn is pursuing a new career, and Rudy, I know, has been considering making a change as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be doing my training with this Pavel guy, but I think any spare time I would be spending at the two temples trying to sort of repay the debt of them helping me out. You know, just like errands and just general work, you know, cleaning and stuff, and just whatever they feel is needed at the time, just to sort of say thank you, really. Show willing.
Okay. And Rudy?
So I think Rudy will probably, what he's trying to do, he thinks he needs to fight his way out of things. And he needs better skill at doing that. He hasn't got that. But he's seen what the soldiers can do.
Mm.
And that's kind of where he thinks he might go after being down in those sewers and losing that lovely little dwarf. He kind of blames himself still again. He thinks, right, now I'm going to have to be better.
Mm.
So he's frequenting a few of the Solzamund taverns, which are frequented by the more military soldier types, just to start to get a feel for stories about how you sign up, what the life is like.
Yeah. Okay.
That kind of thing. You know, just feeling his way.
Yeah. I mean, there's mercenaries are always willing to take someone in who can swing a sword, right? So I think you're definitely seeing opportunities for it. Are you thinking on land or by sea? Because there's plenty of call for the North, setting aside the Norscan raiders and the other dangers at the sea. The Dark Elves are seemingly you hear stories about the Dark Elves plying those northern waters.
Yeah. Thought about that. It could be either. He was thinking on land.
Okay. Yeah, there's always a call for that as well. So what are you like, Alwyn and Rudy, are you thinking of going along with whatever are you going to do the same thing you did before, which is to serve, Katarina and Talther as kind of retainers, if they are charged to return to the lands of the Durnbox and the Kreutzfelds?
Yeah, I think we want to see that out. And he's made friends with these, so he's got a sort of allegiance or a sort of debt to them. We've helped each other out, so yeah, I think that would be a good place to start. And it's going to take him a while to sort of get going with this new career anyway, so that'll give him a bit more time to train up and such.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. So it is, let's see here. Katarina, I think we'll start with you.
Okay.
So tell us about what proposal do you put to Mother Agatha with respect to returning to Oldenleeds?
Well, I mean, there's definitely, I just let her know, Olden Leeds has suffered, with the troubles and, the Skaven incursion and all the turmoil that's going on. That we've made kind of contacts and friends there. There's definitely a need. Perhaps the shrine, Shalia, which, is well tended by the people around, could be elevated to a small temple, at least maybe for the duration of the mission, if not longer.
She definitely approves of that and agrees that now that you are more senior, it is worth knowing that there is more than simply ministering to the ill and the infirmed that Shalia does. While those tasks are core to her portfolio as a goddess of mercy and healing, mercy and healing does require more proactive steps at times. And what she lets you in is that she has agents who actually are searching throughout Salzenmund for evidence of threats, particularly from those of the ruinous powers, particularly Grandfather Nurgle. Do you recall where there was I mentioned there was a plinth out front of the Temple to Shalia that is empty? You recall that, Katerina?
Yes. Yeah, the plinth.
The reason the plinth is empty is because the statue that was there has been removed. What she tells you is, I'm going to make sure I get the name right here. Mother Agatha is a little further in. University. There she is. The plinth is empty because the memorial to Dr. Festus had to be removed. Right. Festus was a physician who was a great boon to the mission of Shalia and the church in Salzenmund. But what was unknown to the church until far too late to prevent any harm is that Festus, in his time, was corrupted. And while he favored Festus and would become a venerated soul, it turns out that he, in particular, after dealing with one of the most destructive plagues that has struck the Empire, the gnashing fever, it's during that he became broken. And while the wider public knows that he disappeared, the church knows the horrors, and that in the course of trying to treat the gnashing plague, gnashing fever, his mind and soul were corrupted. And so he still lurks somewhere in Nordland, though it's said that he travels the length and breadth of the Empire. I fear that the turmoil in Oldenleitz may provide an opportunity for Festus to ply his horrific and blasphemous crafts. Festus is but one of the pestilences that we watch for. Mutants in the hills, elves digging up secrets from a time of a forgotten war, and Skaven active. Skaven, it seems, have been defeated, but they are patient and vengeful creatures, or so the writings say. Having a stronger presence in Olden Leeds would benefit not only the citizens of Olden Leeds, but also would service this broader and more subtle mission. Who do you propose to lead the temple, Katerina?
Well, Shalia teaches us humility. However, I do have contacts in Olden Leeds, but perhaps, well, of course, you will lead the temple. I will just be there in your name as your advocate.
Your humility is a credit, but I am but a servant of the Mother of Mercy, as are we all. You will lead this temple.
Okay. Yes, Mother Agatha, I hope to do you proud. Well, as far as our strictures allow.
I have heard word, and the temple in Olden Leeds, or the efforts of the mission to Olden Leeds, do seem to be yielding some benefit and are of are certainly. Just 1 second here, guys. I want to check a name. We had, curiously, a individual who has joined. He came from the West. I understand you. There was a mercenary who you had saved.
Oh, yes.
I do not have his name at hand, but he has.
Maybe there's a handout.
I do. No, I've got it. Errant Strepstorp. It's just I don't think she would necessarily have his name on the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his name is Errant Strepstorp. I think we've got a handout for him as well. Yeah, here he is.
That guy.
Yeah, the guy was blackmailed.
Yes, Errant. Sir Strepstorp. I do not know if he is noble, but he is noble of heart.
He is. He seems to have made a exceptional. He arrived and volunteered his time. He has become an exceptional assistant, volunteer with the community.
I'm glad he survived. He was not in a good way, but I'm glad he has survived.
I would see if greater use, if he is indeed a mercenary, perhaps there is better use for his skills than as a simple laborer.
The dangers and the instability in Olden Leeds might require someone with those particular type of skills.
It would, though, and we will discuss this next. There will be we would prefer to characterize it as a mission, but the Sigmarites would prefer to deem it a crusade. And so we have landed on the compromise suggested by the priest of Manan on an expedition to return to the lands of the Durenbox and the Kreutzfelds. But my understanding is this mercenary was in service to one of those houses. There may be value
exactly
in his insight. So Then, I bring you them. In addition to your pending responsibilities as the High Priestess of the temple to be constructed in Olden Leeds, I would also charge you to join this expedition. The Sigmarites are sending a contingent as well, which I understand will include a witch hunter. It seems that both the Mennonites and the Sigmarites view this as a spreading of the influence of the ruinous powers as any other cult would be, and that it must be responded to accordingly, raised. And it is perhaps my fondness for Dorothea that has clouded my judgment. But I trust yours, Katerina. And while we cannot work at cross purposes to the Sigmarites, our brethren in the Sigmarites and the Mennonites, I would encourage, should the opportunity to parley with Dorothy, and should circumstances prove different to what we understand, a cult of the ruinous powers, such that it does not undermine the efforts of our brethren, I still think there a chance for a resolution that does not result in all dead. The Baron has not forbade us from doing so, but has prioritized the cleansing of those lands. I trust that you will use your judgment as you see fit.
We have some other agaton.
Then, have you any questions?
No. I guess Olden Leeds will be almost an advanced base for this. It is on the way.
So I foresaw it, indeed. And these elves, it troubles me that the one resorts to an alliance with such unholy things to achieve its ends, however hard put upon they may be. The ruinous powers act in such ways, preying on those desperate. I would like to think it is that which influenced Festus's fall. But while we can understand the desperate circumstances they find themselves in, and we can try to forestall or prevent the corruption for those who are vulnerable, when corruption does manifest, and when they do fall, there is but one answer. I trust that I understand that your colleague, the Mennonites, Talther, that he will likewise be charged with this task. Though, is there some question of Talther's character?
I'm not Not in my eyes. I mean, in Salzman, we've learned that people with diverse backgrounds, whether they're orphans or come from families that do things that skirt on legality, can be just as good and fight just as hard. I have not seen it.
I understand that the impression I gained was that his appointment to this task was at the insistence of the Wave Lord. And potentially
that is good. That is good.
It is good, but when one's position is due to the favor of but one, it is a precarious existence to be in. And the impression I gained was that he does not enjoy the widespread support of the Mennonites.
So to quote sort of street lingo, make sure I watch his back.
I think doing so would make you a good friend.
Well, I'm sure we saved each other's lives many a time, more than I can count, and that was just underneath Olden Leeds. So, of course.
As in the other matters, I trust your judgment, Katerina. You have proven to be an excellent judge of character. Then, unless there is any other questions, you have preparations to make?
Yes.
I will arrange as well that an architect attend. Plans must be made for the temple in Olden Leeds. They shall attend you there. Such matters are best decided on the ground. Then, unless there's anything further you have?
No.
And I
gotta get things ready.
Yep. We turn then to Talther. So Talther, I think you're still sort of oblivious to this at this point, just based on your intuition roll from before. But you do have you are called once again before the Wave Lord. And it's in the same chamber or same office that he saw you in before. You knock on the door, and you hear from him from within. Enter.
Do so quietly.
Talther, thank you.
Wait, what?
And how does this day find you?
This morning has been quiet. The last week, not so much. And a little sore from training.
I have heard. What prompted you to take up arms in your training? Are you thinking of taking to the seas?
Well, our previous discussion was of how the Sigmarites might respond to the situation and how we would respond as well. So I took that seriously in order to ready myself.
You can see his expression shifts just subtly, but it seems to one of approval.
And then he quirks a little half grin and says, besides, if I intend to be a sea captain, I must be ready to defend my ship as well.
Indeed. The reason I called you was to discuss the decision of the Baron. And while the Sigmarites, they agree with your assessment, unsurprisingly, given their kind. There is a saying of what one sees when one wields a hammer And there are no more prevalent users of hammers than the Sigmarites.
Yes. Nails. All they see are nails.
Indeed. I think some of this informed by their shame at the pettiness of their representative they had sent before. There is a young and eager priest who will be taking his position, and I understand they will be sending a witch hunter to assist. The Sigmarites are concerned that corruption involving both houses may infest both houses. And as such, it is not simply a matter of finding and burning out the mutant corruption. It is a matter of satisfying the Baron that the corruption is not deep-rooted in the Durenbachs and the Kreutzfelds.
And I suppose any personal grudges might be settled along with this endeavor of the Barons.
I think their eagerness to find corruption in others is a response to the corruption of their own. Though, if there is corruption to be found, I trust the witch finder or the witch hunter and the Sigmarites will do so. They have agreed with our suggestion to deem this an expedition rather than a mission or a crusade.
Sure, the Chalians are pleased to hear that.
They are, though unsurprisingly, perhaps, Mother Agatha's proposed approach was mercy can blind some to what is necessary. We fortunately see clearly, as do our brethren among the Sigmarites. The task shall be for the expedition to muster in Olden Leeds. It will require time to bring the individuals in, and it will be the Sigmarites who have the honor of sending the largest contingent. The Baron has deemed it a suitable opportunity for them to restore their lost honor or prestige. My preference shall be for you to attend, and I understand that Mother Agatha will be proposing the same priestess that she has advanced.
No.
Katerina, I believe.
She is a great asset to have. She's proven herself time and time again to be more than just capable of healing, but also of scrapping when needed. And I trust her.
Good. The Sigmarites will be supplying the majority of the forces, but such as it is possible, we wish all churches, all three, to work in concert in this. The Sigmarites are, to be frank, in pursuit of vengeance as much as they are to restore order and cleanse the corrupt. It is worth bearing in mind the reason that the Baron took interest in these is due to potential instability. The Baron has many enemies who are unhappy with his ascent as an elector count. Disturbance of two such profitable silver mining endeavors would weaken the Baron's position. While the Sigmarites view the pursuit of corruption as the most important goal in this expedition, I would encourage you to bear in mind the only reason this is of interest to the Baron is the degree to which it can fuel his coffers. The silver. The silver is of paramount importance.
If I'm understanding you correctly, Wavelord, this is a fairly tedious position we three churches are in, as far as maintaining the balance.
When dealing with those of the other faiths, we all respond to the will of our gods. The will of Sigmar is more single-minded than ours. Manon favors pirates and navies as much as merchants. We are more worldly. You would favor the position of the Church of Manon more by supporting the Baron in what his ultimate goals are. He is a great friend to the Church.
Understood then.
I think you should know plainly as well, if this is not evident to you yet, there are many who offer me counsel who guarded against your resumption of duties to the Durenbach and Kreutzfeld lands. He leans in. There are many here who simply do not like you.
I was aware of that last bit there, Wavelord, but to actively speak against me, that is something I did not expect. I thought we were more united as a priesthood than that.
If you view your future in the church as more than just escorting senior priests, you must be more practical-minded.
Does something I can rise to, Wavelord, is as you're aware, I have no family, and the church has become one. This feels a bit of a betrayal.
The church is a ship, and a captain who wishes to be loved is a captain who ensures a disobedient crew.
With that knowledge, there's like a Talther's like jaw just tightens just a little bit as it sinks in. He's like, I understand.
I thought you might. And it is why you have my full confidence in this. Then, see this task through to completion, and perhaps we can then speak of a task that will bring you more wide-ranging responsibilities and an opportunity to truly taste salt.
There's a combination of like eagerness and then kind of hesitancy in his eyes at that, because his doom kind of flashes at the front of his mind. But then he just straightens his back and nods.
John, do you think in one of my campaigns I would involve a shipwreck? That's just scurrilous accusations.
Avoid ships.
Well, it was specifically salt water that Talthir was doomed to drown in, so
Yeah.
he hasn't actually been out to sea aside from basic training.
So I think you're like, if you blanch a bit in it, I think he takes it as like, he doesn't understand it you as being scared. He takes it as you being like understanding the full scope of what he is proposing. So he seems pleased with it. Once again, he brings out the rum. Any voyage worth celebrating must be toasted properly. So once again, the rum comes out and you are toasted.
Talthir tosses it back this time, and the forefront of his mind is, this is not going to help my reputation, and if he's going to show me this much favor. And then he shakes his head and, well, they're just going to have to deal with it, and tosses it back.
Nice. All right. Then it is, let's see here. I think Talthir and Katerina, let's assume you guys are going to have to get together and discuss this. Do you wish to discuss with one another before you approach Alwyn and Rudy with further retainer duties, or you want to bring everyone together?
I think Talthir trusts the other two enough that I don't think we should really keep anything a secret from them.
No.
So let's say that, where do you think you guys are meeting for a drink? Is it over, at the...
it's got to be at our place.
Yeah, the Shipwright Arms.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to the fucking dive, and unsurprisingly, that
I know.
stain that you guys saw from where that Norscan murdered his friends, that is still there.
Yeah, Katerina will dress down. I mean, there's no way I'm going to want to wear quality robes and the like.
Yeah, my ceremonial robes are for ceremony. I'm dressed down too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So word has come to Rudy and Alwyn that they wish to meet up for a drink and to discuss future tasks. So
Right. Good.
Yep.
then,
Yeah, a nice excursion somewhere. Guard a few priests. Yeah, we could do that. It'll be fine.
okay. So you guys are sitting down. Katerina and Talthir, how do you discuss... you guys have not had a chance to discuss the respective tasks that have been put to you. How do you present it to one another?
Oh, it seems like almost like a deja vu, right? Sigmarite priests, and we have to almost mediate. I am concerned about potential fanaticism with witch hunters about, but I feel like we'll manage.
Yeah. Talthir adds that the Sigmarites are very salty, pun intended, about the loss of their priest, and they're looking for a bit more than just hunting out corruption. But the Weight
I
Lord is...
requested. Yeah. The Weight Lord is sending you, I hear.
Yeah, he requested that I make attempts to favor the Baron's interest in this endeavor as much as I can. Or more than I can, but I will rise to that occasion.
Well, I'm looking to find Dorothea. So hopefully before the witch hunters. but it might come to the same end.
Yeah.
I'm not naive.
We'll find. We'll have to find a way to mitigate the Sigmarites' vengeance in order to, if we can, to keep the two noble families stable and able to support the Baron.
Well, yes, the drive of silver and keeping the money flowing is probably a good tactic.
Yeah. So you may have to pull some strings with push and mercy if it comes down to the Sigmarites wanting to lay waste to everything. They do have a young zealot priest running the expedition.
Interesting. Well, we do have friends in Olden Leask, right? A certain mage, maybe, if he's still there, and some noble families, perhaps. So I feel like we will be fine, at least in Olden Leask. When we get out into the countryside, it might be more interesting.
We may need to downplay any involvement with that box or necromantic powers with that witch hunter about.
Oh, well, that's the priests of Moor have that. We've done our duty.
Well, rumors have a tendency of spreading, and he'll glance at Alwyn and then look down a little bit and...
Well, yeah. I requested Mother Agatha that we bring Arent Stork. You remember him?
Oh, yes, the displaced knight.
Yeah. So...
Fancy.
Think you'd be willing to help us?
He's a mercenary too, not a knight, by the by.
Yeah, he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
But I mean, some added muscle and weight, and I hear some of you are training in more or stronger martial prowess, so I think we'll be okay.
I've been dedicating time to polearms. He kind of cracks a grin. I'm not that terrible anymore. But against a horde of Skaven, I still want to stay in the back.
I mean, you faced those mutants before too, so they are kind of pathetic, you know.
Well, the first fight that Talthar with them, he went down very quickly.
Yeah, crossbows will do that.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Talthar finally get armor, by the way?
He does have leather armor, yes.
Okay. Alwyn, Rudy, what do you guys make of a return to to their lands?
I don't think Rudy is. He didn't go with us to those. He's been.
No, Rudy, that's true. Rudy never went in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So I kind of update him or tell him. Oh, yeah. I'll tell him about the fun and mishap hijinks that happened on that last expedition.
I think, Rudy, you'd heard rumors about a bent priest who got murdered.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and you're like, shit, like you guys were involved with that?
Oh, what? I mean, involved in what way? I mean,
we were in the nearby area when it happened. Doing something.
Yeah. Right. So we were. Right. So the Sigmarite priest was murdered. We were charged. Yeah. We were charged to solve the murder, and we kind of did, but we weren't able to capture the murders.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a little too soon for Alwyn to be hearing about people being charged with murder again.
Yeah.
His name.
Give Alwyn a chance to set up an alibi in case somebody says something against him again.
Yeah.
Should we get this like in writing?
Do we know who did that? Do we know who did that? I never asked, but maybe.
Who did the?
Who put the bounty on him? Or does Alwyn know?
Yeah, it's an old buddy.
Nice.
Well, that was who sort of told them. No, but we don't know which noble it was that put the bounty on me, but it was an old drinking buddy that basically pointed the bounty hunter in the right direction, I think.
Got to have friends, haven't you? Got to have friends.
Maybe we should get his retention and writing so that if anything comes up, we have actual evidence to show where he's been.
So, assuming that you're not just going to take the lead from the priest of Sigmar and the witch hunter, how do you guys think you would pursue this goal of dealing with the mutants and ensuring the Baron's interests are serviced? Remember, the reason that these two were supposed to be married in the first place was to bring peace to two feuding families who bordered one another, or whose lands bordered one another.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way to try to contact them, I guess, out of Olden Leets, that's an idea before the Sigmarites get there. I mean, I don't know how much standing we might have to go and try to visit these families, but maybe...
You're gold one.
Yeah, I know, but they don't like us, I'm sure.
So
it's possible. It's possible, right? We could... my suggestion would be we'll get to Odalise. We need to get stuff started there. At least I do. But then from there, reach out to try to get an audience with one or both of these families. I do not suggest beating the bushes and trying to find this mutant camp or these mutants. That's just going to lead to trouble. But with the emphasis on the goal that Talther stated from the Baron and the priest of Manon, and that, I mean, the Sigmarites will bring a torch.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, and the last time that you were involved with them, you were an initiate of Shali. Now you're a high priest. Right. So there might be a lot more weight behind your request than.
So I was trying to find the.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Sometimes once an initiate, all is initiate, right? Once a student, all is a student.
I mean, they just might skip past the Katarina and not tie it to it, and there's a high priest requesting a.
Well, I'll push my. I think now I probably might push the Kaufman name more, but we'll see.
Hmm. So, Aaron,
but the two people that I was going to say, the two people we're after are the ones that have gone into hiding, aren't they? Pretty much,
right.
or the worst of the families, Jacob and.
Perhaps that is another angle we could take. Then Alwyn, Ruthard, to
attempt or offer that we'd try to help locate these two and bring the matter to a somewhat peaceful resolution, so that their names aren't further suspect.
Or have Alwyn and Ruthard look for to find rumors of their whereabouts as well. So get it from two different angles.
Yeah, and these are, rural mining holdings, right? So there's definitely people, there'll be mines you can go to. There are going to be likely villages in support of them. And then there'll be the lands around. There's got to be gamekeepers and shit like that would be in service. So there's plenty of folks you could follow up within them. And there's also that...
I'm sure there's a bounty on them, right? Is there a bounty on them?
Very likely that the Sigmarites would do so, yeah. That would be one of the first things. And there also would be that neutral house that we haven't discussed much, where you were supposed to meet with them.
Yeah. Oh, that could be a place to get to as well. Okay.
Could serve as a... They seemed eager to serve as a... what do you call it? Like a neutral meeting ground for the two families, right? So they could likely do the same in pursuit of favor from either the Baron or any one of the three or all of the churches as well. So I'll get the name for that for you between now and next session as well. I'm just trying to find the name so you can think of the two surviving. I think there's here we go. So it was, that's Ruprecht Durdenbach. Yeah, Friedrich Kreutzfeld and Is the other one? That's Greta. Oh yeah, Jakob. Jakob Kreuzfeld is the one who I believe is the mutant, leaving that Friedrich Kreuzfeld. And you may remember he's a bit of a prick. As the surviving heir, and I think Brigitte is the elder of the two. Let's double check here. Yeah, she's 26. Oh, Ruprecht. Right. He's actually the... Oh, so Ruprecht, this guy also was a bit of a prick.
Yeah, they weren't pleasant to us, but you know.
Let's just simplify it. They were all pricks. That was
Right.
That was
Well, that's.
basically how
I
it
mean,
worked.
Aren't was cool.
Yeah, but he weren't a noble or one of the rich
that's
families.
True.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
So why are we helping these pricks?
no, they have money.
Oh yeah. That's usually the answer. Nice one. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's my answer. That's my answer for you, Ruth.
Okay. I'm hurt. I'm hurt, Katrina. Oh, come on.
You also
I'm
know
trying
that
to get better.
Brigitte Durenbach is also there, but although I believe the rumor you heard was that she and Friedrich had a dalliance before. So while the first effort to marry the families proved really, to call it, I think a bit of an understatement would be it did not work out. There is two eligible bachelor and bachelorettes who seem to have had a connection before, though they may be uniquely unsuitable as potential future rulers of their lands. There was a letter, I believe, that you found that alleged involvement of Brigitte in a Slaanesh cult.
Right.
Though she vehemently denied that. And I think, did Evert die? For some reason, I can go back and rewatch the last, one of those things. But remember, there was the other guy?
Yeah.
Did he die, or
I
did...
thought one of the. That was the other mercenary, right?
Yeah, the other mercenary. Did he take a
rival?
crossbow bolt, or am I imagining things?
I don't know. It was such a blur,
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy end to it.
I mean, Katarina was intent on dodging crossbows and trying to save Arette. So.
Yeah. Because he was serving the Durenbachs.
There was an assassin woman too.
Yeah, that was Greta.
Yeah.
Was appearing as Friedrich's lover.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I think he survived that other mercenary guy. I think.
Did he?
I got no record of him.
Yeah, so that means Evert is still likely in service to the Durenbachs. He did nothing to disgrace himself before them. It was only Arendt that was dismissed from his service. And there is the senior. You have yet to meet Papa Durenbach or Papa Kreuzfeld either. So two others to consider dealing with. Do you think that in light of the task that is before you, there's anything that you need to secure before making the trip out?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Proper wash. I don't know.
Oh, you're muted, John. Okay, Timo.
Hello. If we're going to meet with noble families, what not exactly a gift, but something along those lines to, I don't know, be like a good idea. Like, thank you for meeting with us. Here's some chocolate.
I mean, you are
Flowers.
traveling under the auspices of the authority of the Baron,
The Baron.
for one, right? And
But that's like,
someone in their lands murdered a senior priest of Sigmar, and really the both Katarina and Talther would know this. In all likelihood, the reason they're not making a bigger deal out of this is because the guy was corrupt as fuck. And word has gotten around, so they don't really want to make a bigger issue out of this than it has been, but they do also seem pretty keen on avenging themselves. So, which is to say, you probably are not needing to get in their good graces. They may be terrified of what might be happening here, particularly if a witch hunter comes.
Yeah, that's one of the things, though. It's like it's this specter of a sword over their heads, and I want to show little goodwill as far as ingratiating them. So maybe a small gift along those lines might help.
I come to speak to you, my lord, about the corruption in your lands, but first,
here's some chocolate,
pot of
Some
gold.
flowers. No, I think our gift to them is warning them that hammer and flame are coming.
That could be in your correspondence with them.
So in which case, do you write to the Kreutzfelds, to the Durenbachs, or to the neutral third party first?
I would say the neutral third party.
Okay.
And let them know what is going on, and maybe if they want to continue what we tried to do, and maybe get these houses to send someone there to have the meeting that we were supposed to have in light of these recent developments and the Baron's pronouncements here in Salzenland.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have. Maybe they've heard. Maybe they haven't.
Dear nobles, get your shit together. They're coming.
Kinda. I mean, it wouldn't be untoward to give a gift to this neutral house for potentially hosting, but we can figure that out.
Okay. And then if the one of the things you could do if you want to to delay a little bit is, and it doesn't sound like you do want to, but remember there's like a gather info downtime activity. So if you did want to travel to Oldenleeds and take a week, one of the things you could do is sort of get the lay of the land and see if there is anything out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea too.
You could simply go out there and see what it is, but that also might give you an opportunity to, if there are any other downtime activities that you feel would benefit getting ready for this.
I think we want to get to Aldenley as quick as possible to get some rumors, some gossip, see if there is any talk of these mutants or some sort of, I don't know, hideout or concentration of mutants in the area, or whether the Jacob or was it Dorothy has been seen anywhere in the vicinity, because they're the real issue in the families. So the sooner we get there, the sooner we can look into all of that before the rest of the group arrives, if we can. So maybe we should look to head out as soon as possible.
Yeah. As a side note, now that Talther is a sea priest, there's an item in the book of Sea of Claws called Sacred Salt that most priests carry with them.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could get it's a pouch of blessed salt. It doesn't have like a cost associated with it. It just says they usually carry it. I was wondering if I can get some of that.
What page?
Page 83.
83, thank you.
It's a fun little item.
Sacred
50%
salt.
chance it works. Yeah.
This is taken from the sea during high tide on Mitterfrühl, and prayed over for 2 hours. Priests use it during important rituals and rub it in the hands of followers favored by Manon. It can also repel sea creatures, calm waves, and clear fog. Excuse me.
I figure if he walks around, he should probably have some.
Heck yeah. Yeah, love it.
Cool.
There is also...
It has like almost no use for us in the actual outside of the sea, but...
One of the holy books of Manon is Of Sea and Man, also known as the 1000 Shanties. So
Nice.
I have taken an advance in entertainment singing, by the way. So,
That's great.
Wow. I think I have entertained speeches, so you know.
it's also part of the level 2 for Sailor Priest. You got to get 10 ranks in it in order to go next one. So
I will tell you, if you guys are intending on meeting with these nobles or whatnot, I have been looking for an excuse to print the elf book because it has rules for courtly intrigue in it.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think that my rubber arm has been twisted, so I will arrange that today.
As long as we're not haggling.
Really? It was just an unfortunate critical fail on your part there.
I know.
So,
But it's canon now.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Anything else that you guys... And really, I think what it is, Talther, too, because you're normally quite good about it, you look like the guy's ex-brother-in-law. So as soon as you walked into that shop, he was like, this motherfucker. And as soon as you started talking, he's like, get the fuck out of my... So, no fault of your own. It's just, you got a face...
I failed first, and then I rolled again and crit fail. I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Oh, boy. You won't take no for an answer unless violence is threatened, in which case you will happily accept it. Then anything else you guys wish to discuss before we wrap up our downtime in Salzenmund?
I don't know. Ruthard or Elwyn?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. You can include... So, Pavel is definitely a contact for you now. Manfred is also a contact for you now. And Katerina, Johann, the boatman, the little fella who had the conversion. I'm assuming he was part of the mission that went to...
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, because if they're needing to transport stuff, that is his skill, right? He is a boatman, so... he'll definitely be someone who is a contact for you now as well. Then, guys, I think that brings us to the end of the session. We're a little bit early, but let's award some XP. Is it 100 XP we've been given?
It is, yes.
Okay, so everyone gets 100 XP. Rudy, you caught up finally.
Hey.
Nice.
Nice.
So it is a paltry 100 that you are earning for today, I guess, by comparison to the usual. Congratulations on catching up. Let me get everybody back to the main screen. This is going to be exciting, going back to where you guys were before, but now, you know, more senior and with a different mission and with a very different group of Sigmarites with you. Sigmarites out for revenge and redemption.
Yeah. My polearm skill is at 61 now.
Wow.
Yeah, I just all the experience I was going to put on weapon skill, since I couldn't boost it, I'm dumping into polearm specifically because it's actually a in-class feature for Sailor Priest.
Nice. All right. Then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 38, guys, of our ongoing Salt, Silver, and Sin campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the campaign, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to the many Warhammer games we run on the channel, as well as most other campaigns and games we have on the channel, as well as like Find a Group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat, convention chat. There is a terrific, knowledgeable, friendly, and helpful community over there. You are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games are the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MuserNight. It's in the description of the video down below. It'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more. And that'll change as of July 15, 2025. If you're listening to this after that time, come back to one of our more recent videos, and you'll see what the current discount code is. Speaking of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, John, what kind of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPG might you find at Noble Knight Games?
Maybe Blackbird?
Maybe Blackbirds, although that one is pretty easy to find because that is available through
Oh, it is?
Amazon.
Well,
yeah.
And then maybe Dark Eye. But they
Yeah,
got
the
it
Dark
running,
Eye,
right?
definitely. Ulysses Spiela's The Dark Eye could get through there. I know Graham is on vacation, but otherwise I'm sure he would be holding up Fantasy Craft as well. Another hard to find another print RPG that you can pick up as well through Noble Knight.
I would.
Nice. Then I'll also say next week we are 1 week off from our first marathon stream on the channel. That will be a charity stream in support of SOS Children's Villages International, the usual charity that we benefit or that we try and raise money for through the Hero Save Villages campaign. Later today I'm going to shoot a video about that as well. It'll be a 16-hour session playing Free League's Dragonbane, which has some cool books coming up for Kickstarter pretty soon as well. 4-part adventure, 6 players, 1 dungeon muser, and donors will be able to affect the play by making things more easy, more difficult, or otherwise more interesting for our heroes over the course of play. Donations can be made through the link down below, but we will be tracking donations live, and we have some specifics about how you make those donations so that we know what you want to do. You'll be making selections live in chat as we go. And you need not make a donation in order to join us for the marathon. So please don't feel that you have to make those donations. But if you do want to support the Hero Save Villages campaign and you want to see some changes to the gameplay, please feel free to do so and let us know how you're going to be spending those rewards in the chat next week. So that'll start 8 a.m. Saturday, May 31st, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time to midnight Central Standard Time, or until I fall down. Whatever one of those comes first. So, or if I kill all the player characters. I mean,
Oh no.
you know, that we have to account for that possibility. We call it when a frog appears in on this channel. So, but the last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our grim and perilous heroes. So, Darren, Graham, Carl, and John, thank you so much for playing today, guys. The great session. I think we really set ourselves up nicely for where you guys are going next. And as is always the case, I am very sorry for what's going to await you in Oldenleitz and the lands of the Durenbachs and Kreuzfelds.
We feel stronger, and now bigger hammer. Whack.
Exactly. Where are those rules for the blood letter again?
I was hoping you didn't like roll at the event table where the bloody trots or whatever runs through town, and you have to roll to avoid it or not. I was like, no.
Awesome. Then we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, but until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our grim and perilous heroes are planning for in their expedition back to Oldenleitz and to the west. But until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.